Book of Changes time. Are we there yet? 62. Ow, or HSIAO. Xiao Ku, I think it's pronounced. Preponderance of the small. Above, Chen, the arousing thunder. Below, Ken, keeping still, mountain. While in the hexagram Ta Kuo, preponderance of the great, 28, the strong lines preponderate and are within, enclosed between weak lines at the top and bottom. The present hexagram has weak lines preponderating, though here again they are on the outside, the strong lines being within. This indeed is the basis of the exceptional situation indicated by the hexagram. When strong lines are outside, we have the hexagram I, providing nourishment, 27, or Chang Fu in the truth, 61. Neither represents an exceptional state. When strong elements within preponderate, they necessarily enforce their will. This creates struggle and exceptional conditions in general. But in the present hexagram, it is the weak element that perforce must mediate with the outside world. If a man occupies a position of authority for which he is by nature really inadequate, extraordinary prudence is necessary. The judgment, preponderance of the small, success, perseverance furthers. Small things may be done, great things should not be done. The flying bird brings the message, it is not well to strive upward. It is well to remain below, great good fortune. Exceptional modesty and conscientiousness are sure to be rewarded with success. However, if a man is not to throw himself away, it is important that they should not become empty form and subservience, but be combined always with a correct dignity in personal behavior. We must understand the demands of the time in order to find the necessary offset for its deficiencies and dangers. In any event, we must not count on great success, since the requisite strength is lacking. In this lies the importance of the message that one should not strive after lofty things, but hold to lowly things. The structure of the hexagram gives rise to the idea that this message is brought by a bird. In Ta Kuo, preponderance of the great, 28, the four strong, heavy lines within, supported only by two weak lines without, give the image of a sagging ridgepole. Here, the supporting weak lines are both outside and preponderate. This gives the image of a soaring bird. But a bird should not try to surpass itself and fly into the sun. You know, Romulus and Remus, Icarus. It should descend to the earth where its nest is. In this way, it gives the message conveyed by the hexagram. The image, thunder on the mountain, the image of preponderance of the small. Thus, in his conduct, the superior man gives preponderance to reverence. In bereavement, he gives preponderance to grief. In his expenditures, he gives preponderance to thrift. Thunder on the mountain is different from thunder on the plain. In the mountains, thunder seems much nearer. Outside the mountains, it is less audible than the thunder of an ordinary storm. Thus, the superior man derives an imperative from this image. He must always fix his eyes more closely and more directly on duty than does the ordinary man, even though this might make his behavior seem petty to the outside world. He is exceptionally conscientious in his actions. In bereavement, emotion means more to him than ceremoniousness. In all his personal expenditures, he is extremely simple and unpretentious. In comparison with the man of the masses, all this makes him stand out as exceptional. But the essential significance of his attitude lies in the fact that in external matters, he is on the side of the lowly. 6 at the beginning means the bird meets with misfortune through flying. A bird ought to remain in the nest until it is fledged. If it tries to fly before this, it invites misfortune. Extraordinary measures, or even extraordinary measures, should be resorted to only when all else fails. At first, we ought to put up with traditional ways as long as possible. Otherwise, we exhaust ourselves and our energy and still achieve nothing. 6 in the second place means she passes by her ancestor and meets her ancestress. He does not reach his prince and meets the official. No blame. 2 exceptional situations are instanced here. In the temple of the ancestors, where alternation of generations prevails, the grandson stands on the same side as the grandfather. Hence, his closest relations are with the grandfather. The present line designates the grandson's wife, who during the sacrifice passes by the ancestor and goes toward the ancestress. This unusual behavior is, however, an expression of her modesty. She ventures rather to approach the ancestress, for she feels related to her by their common sex. Hence here, deviation from the rule is not a mistake. Another image is that of the official who, in compliance with regulation, first seeks an audience with his prince. If he is not successful in this, he does not try to force anything but goes about conscientious fulfillment of his duty, taking his place among the other officials. This extraordinary restraint is likewise not a mistake in exceptional times. The rule is that every official should first have an audience with the prince by whom he is appointed. Here, the appointment is made by the minister. 9 in the third place means, if one is not extremely careful, somebody may come up from behind and strike him, misfortune. At certain times, extraordinary caution is absolutely necessary, but it is just in such life situations that we find upright and strong personalities who, conscious of being in the right, disdain to hold themselves on guard because they consider it petty. Instead, they go their way proud and unconcerned. But this self-confidence deludes them. There are dangers lurking for which they are unprepared. Yet such danger is not unavoidable. One can escape it if he understands that the time demands that he pays special attention or especial attention to small and insignificant things. 9 in the fourth place means no blame. He meets him without passing by. Going brings danger. One must be on guard. Do not act. Be constantly persevering. She keeps on passing me by. But little, she keeps on Right. Hardness of character is tempered by yielding position. That yielded. So that no mistakes are made. The situation here calls for extreme caution. One must make no attempt of one's own initiative to reach the desired end. And if one were to go on endeavoring to force his way to the goal, he would be endangered. Therefore, one must be on guard and not act, but continue inwardly to persevere. 6 in the fifth place means dense clouds. No rain from our western territory. The prince shoots and hits him who is in the cave. Yeah. As a high place is pictured here, the image of a flying bird has become that of flying clouds. But dense as the clouds are, they race across the sky and give no rain. Similarly, in exceptional times, there may be a born ruler who is qualified to set the world in order, but who cannot achieve anything or confer blessings on the people because he stands alone and has no helpers. In such times, a man must seek out helpers with whose aid he can carry out the task. But these helpers must be modestly sought out in the retirement to which they have withdrawn. It is not their fame nor their great names, but their genuine achievements that are important. Through such modesty, the right man is found, and the exceptional task is carried out in spite of all difficulties. 6 at the top means he passes him by, not meeting him. The flying bird leaves in misfortune. This means bad luck and injury. If one overshoots the goal, one cannot hit it. If a bird will not come to its nest, but flies higher and higher, it eventually falls into the hunter's net. He who in times of extraordinary salience of small things does not know how to call a halt, but restlessly seeks to press on and on, draws upon himself misfortune at the hands of gods and men, because he deviates from the order of nature.